All right, this is Hellkat, and I'm back with This Is My Two Cents. And today, Flacco says evidence found in a Nolan Wells phone confirms he was murdered. Confirms he was murdered. All right. Without further ado, let's get into this.
And what Nolan Wells' parents found in his phone confirms beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they murdered that little boy, man.
Just to be honest, without us going through the phone, which I know we're about to go through because Flacco is reporting on it. I happen to feel like he was already unalived, intentionally. It's so racial. Every day is something new. Everything is so racially motivated. Used to be money, you know. Crazy world we live in.
Murder him, and the police, the law enforcement agencies, the judges, coroners, everybody in that city responsible for this investigation is working in cahoots to make sure they get away with it. That little boy was murdered by some powerful people in that city, and they making sure them powerful people don't get held accountable. Nolan Wells' family has retained the services of Benjamin Crump to ensure Nolan gets justice, however that may be. They brought Benjamin Crump in to launch a private investigation into the death of Nolan, because whatever they have seen up until this point, they've seen enough to know they can't trust the local police department. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the only option they had if you take the circumstance into consideration. If this does end up being a murder investigation, if Nolan was murdered, one of the suspects, Warren Mama, is a sitting judge in the city. It's a small town. They all grew up together. The police department, the sheriffs, the detectives, people who are investigating this probably is coming in with biases. Oh, nah, Warren wouldn't do no such. Nah, not Ashley's boy. Ashley's boy will do no such thing. What? Wyatt, Eric? Nah, those are good boys.
Man, the small towns is the worst. They'll mess around and be lost. They'll sweep it under the rug forever.
So they're already coming in with a biased eyes and a biased lens. They're going into this assuming these people did nothing wrong and Nolan just got drunk and drowned. Even though every single detail, every single evidence, every single piece of information that has come out has pointed into the opposite direction of that.
You mentioned earlier there are some contradictions.
Yes.
What gives you confidence or perhaps concern?
Let me tell you, when they bring Ben Crump in, it's serious. My homeboy got killed by the police, and his mama brought Ben Crump in. You know? And he's expensive. And he's effective.
About the investigation so far?
Well, the fact that they continue to tell the family that we don't see any evidence of any foul play, even though you have students who recorded an altercation while they were on the boats of argument where you had Nolan and somebody yelling at one another on the boat. So
now that's probable cause. Probable cause, and it deserves an investigation, especially if it was seen and recorded. Explain.
that's the issue. And then you have the young lady make a statement and she says, well, Nolan and I finished talking and Nolan said he was going back to the boat. And then the boys on the boat said, no, Nolan told them he was going to stay with her. And so they are conflicting. She's saying he went and got on the boat. They saying he didn't get on the boat.
Come on now, they pointing fingers now. Everybody should be getting investigated. The girl, the people on the boat, everybody. Now everybody should be suspects.
So which is it? And all we know is Nolan is dead.
I've never seen a police department in such a hurry to close out an investigation. They have refused to take any of the new evidence into consideration. And let's slow it down for a second. The story they're giving us doesn't make sense. The story that Nolan friends are giving us doesn't make sense. And it shouldn't make sense to a trained police officer. Nolan came to Horn Island with Wyatt, Warren, and Eric. They were on the boat with Nolan. Wyatt, Warren, and Eric claim they left the island without Nolan. They have no idea where he was, even though they came together. Their excuse is Nolan told us he wasn't going to come with because he was busy talking to this chick called Katie that he liked and he hit it off with while he was on the island. Then Katie said, hell nah, he wasn't going home with me. We actually cut our conversation short because he told me he had to go back to the boat with his friends. So which one is it? Who do we believe? Katie?
Boy, how could they trying to close this case? I know they are. It's already some bullshit.
Or Warren, Wyatt, and Eric. The reason why I tend to believe Katie's account of things is because Ashley Cole, Warren's mama, told on themselves. Look at this right here. Look at how implausible this is, okay? She goes, Warren was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July 4th. You would only ask your homie, hey, bro, you coming with us or you staying? We about to go. You would only ask him that when you are about to go.
And I ain't gonna lie to you. We all go, but how I am. We all come together. We all leaving together. Because I'm not gonna be explaining to your parents or your baby mama or your brothers why I left you. It's just not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
So if you last saw him at 3 p.m. and that's when you asked him, because again, according to them, they asked him, hey, you coming with or you staying? He said he's staying. Okay, cool. You would only ask that when you're about to go, right at that moment. So if you last saw him at 3, then you would have asked him that at 3, but then that wouldn't make sense, because why would you ask him that at 3 when you guys eventually left at 4:30 p.m.? So the last y'all seen Nolan was at 3 p.m. when y'all asked him, hey, you coming with, bro? We about to go. Then y'all stayed an additional hour and 30 minutes. Really? That makes sense? Really? That don't make sense at all. But this actually coincides with what Katie said, which is, oh, we cut our conversation short because he told me he was headed back to the boat with his friends because they had to go.
But look, Flacco, somebody could ask, playing devil's advocate, okay? Someone could say, hey, you going with us? And they could be shoo-shooing around, laughing, smoking a blunt, or, whatever. I could see it may be taking another hour to leave. I mean, it happens.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store, preload.
That would mean that Nolan went back to that boat. Nolan was on that boat. Something happened on that boat. We seen an argument take place on camera of Nolan arguing with somebody on a boat. But the police says there's nothing to investigate. Wow. There's no foul play. It doesn't make sense. And think about it.
Don't nothing make sense like he disappeared.
For a second, okay? So they left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taking on water. They had an issue with the bitch pump. First off, okay, if a boat is taking on water and you guys are about 10 to 15 miles away from mainland, so these kids, these inexperienced kids, hopped on a boat that were 10 to 15 miles away from mainland, about a 30 to 40 minute ride. The boat was taking on water and they decided to still hop on and go 40 minutes back to mainland. How does that make sense? They gave Nolan a heads up they had to go because the boat was malfunctioning. Then they proceeded to stay an additional 1 hour and 30 minutes while the boat was malfunctioning. Then they hopped on the boat that was malfunctioning to sail 15 miles to mainland. What? What are we talking about here, man? Are y'all crazy? Are y'all insane? That's why people is looking at the police department like, yo, you guys is compromised, homie. Now, we not letting Katie off the hook either.
Right.
Okay. Even though I tend to believe Katie's account of things, I'm not going as far as some of the people who know Nolan. I seen some of Nolan friends on Facebook talking about, yeah, say what y'all want. I'm standing 10 toes behind Katie. She would never do nothing. I said, all it takes is a little white girl, man, to get you niggas to start shucking and jiving, man.
Boy, I tell you what. Boy, the show do it.
Start buck dancing and break dancing for that white woman. Nolan is dead, and you thought the best use of your time was to come on Facebook to comfort Katie as if Katie is a victim in the situation. And another thing, Mary Polk says, I'm standing behind Katie McCormick. I understand y'all don't know her, but me and 1,000 other of us have literally slept, ate, and partied at the McCormick house. Don't forget that's Dixie's child.
Man, shut your ass up.
Nolan is dead, and the first thing you think to do is to come on Facebook to comfort Katie? What?
But people do clout chase, though.
Excuse me? Listen, as far as I'm concerned, everybody is a suspect until this gets solved.
For real.
Sorry. You was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Too bad. Nolan's dead. At least you got your life. Right? I'm sorry, boo-hoo. You got to deal with some suspicion until the investigation is over. Boo-hoo. I feel like if you care about Nolan, that's the least you can do. The least you can do is tolerate some suspicion until the investigation is over.
And to be honest, I didn't do it, so I really wouldn't give a fuck. I know I didn't do it. Who cares? Say what you want to say. All right, if you think I did it, tell the police to come and arrest me. But that's my type of attitude. I understand they might be grieving or something like that, but my attitude too messed up for all this shit.
But y'all are disgusting. Y'all are disgusting. Y'all love for white proximity. Oh my, it is trifling. Now, Katie McCormick responded back and she goes, what's understood don't have to be said. I love y'all. Just pray for his family and his friends. I'm good. And all I can do is pray for healing over them. This is a terrible situation all in all. So now, pray for his friends will indicate they're not friends. So I'm assuming that they probably just met there. He was trying to holler at her.
Wow.
Who knows, man? But with all this coming out, right, we have the timelines that don't match. We got like the fight video that came out. The police don't really care about that either way. So the kid go missing, the kid end up dead. There's a video of him arguing with somebody before his death, and they don't care about that either. Cool. So now the parents found something in his phone, and now all of a sudden the police want to seize the phone. Man, y'all better.
All of a sudden? What?
They're not.
Ants. They aren't afraid of sprays. Use Taro Liquid Ant Ban.
Don't forget, though, the very suspicious and troubling circumstance surrounding Nolan's phone. See, Nolan friends, they claim they left him on the island and they went to the mainland on a boat that was taking water on a 40-minute sail. But they did that, though. Okay, cool. So they claim they left Nolan on the island, but somehow they were still in possession of Nolan's phone.
So how did they get the phone?
They claim he left the phone in the boat. Nolan's mama's like, hell nah, I know my son. My son got the
Man, people ain't leaving their phones nowhere.
attachment issues with that phone. Ain't no way in the heck my son is staying on the island with no phone. Ain't no way in heck my son.
Now those three are more suspect. Your own friends, man. Your own friends, man. That's why I be telling people, man, I don't care if I've been knowing you 20 years. That don't dictate how close we should be. Nigga could have been hating on you all 19 or the 20 years you known him.
Is staying outside for multiple hours without his phone in his hand. What are you guys talking about? Heck no. Heck no. Now, eventually she went to retrieve the phone, and when she went to retrieve the phone, what she discovered in the phone blows this entire case open.
As far as we know, his mother, Christine, and his father, Elmo, say they haven't gotten any answers. They, have been asked to turn over his cell phone to the Mississippi law enforcement authorities. But even that is troubling to them because they're saying messages that were deleted from his cell phone. So they want to try to dot every I and cross every T and investigate everything. They said it's very improbable that Nolan would not have wanted his cell phone with him if he was going to stay on the island.
Mm-hmm. The deleted text messages on his phone, his parents found that? Who found that out?
No, well, they got his phone, so they're trying to figure out there's deletions on the phone, and they're trying to look at what is that about. There's so many inconsistencies going on, and so we're going to have, with our investigators and our associates, we're going to list all the inconsistencies down. We just got onto the case yesterday, so we have been staying up late with the family, talking to friends, talking to people who were there on that 4th of July, trying to piece.
And nigga say, we just got on the case. So we've been staying up. No, nigga, you stayed up one day. You just told us you just got on the case.
Together what really happened to Nolan Wales.
There were things deleted in a dead man's phone that he didn't have access to. How? There were things deleted in a dead man's phone. Understand this. If Nolan friends were the ones who got into that phone and was able to delete things, what are y'all deleting? What are y'all trying to hide? Like what exactly are y'all trying to cover up here? What? Now, I don't think they're not savvy enough not to go to recently deleted and delete that in that folder as well. I think what happens is probably the mama's pulling up to get the phone. They probably was running out of time, deleted a couple of things, ain't really have time to fully go to recently deleted. Or
they don't know what's in that phone and they couldn't get in it. They didn't know the code. And they might have deleted text messages on their end, but on his end, they're not deleted.
Delete the rest. They got to do a full forensic of that phone and figure out what exactly got deleted, when it got deleted, everything, even the things that are out of recently deleted because it was deleted from out of that as well. Find out what it was. Also, too, here's another element. How do you get into a dead man's phone that got Face ID? If, again, we're going by the theory here, if his friends who had possession of his phone that he allegedly left behind, how would they be able to get into that phone that had Face ID on it? There's only one way.
Flacco, that is a funny theory. And, okay, I'm going to let you have it.
Unless you like the parents, right? The family members who could probably contact.
I'm going to go with they couldn't get inside his phone, but they deleted messages in their phone, but they couldn't delete the messages that was in his, so it's not gonna match up. You get what I'm saying? You'll see things on this phone, you go to their phone, you won't see them because they deleted the messages. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Apple and get into the dead man's phone, but if you his homies and you his friends, the only way you will get into a dead man's phone that has Face ID on it is if you have access to the body. The body is on the boat. You take that body, you put the phone to the body, the phone on lock, and now you have access to the phone. That's the only way. Because can y'all also amuse me as to how y'all think they got into a dead man's phone with Face ID if the body wasn't on the boat? Before we even get to what they were deleting, why they deleted it, can we also, can we just start step by step? Okay, how did they get into a dead man's phone to delete something? It has Face ID on it. It has security measures. You can only get into that phone if that body was in your possession and you can Cool. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, yo, get rid of this. I don't think the things that they saw were the only things that got deleted. Because them kids, if they did do it, allegedly, right? Because we dealing with mamas as judges here, but we got to be careful, homie. If them kids did do it, they savvy enough to delete things out of recently deleted. I can promise you that. I think they ran out of time and just got to deleting some things last minute. I'm telling you, this is getting spooky. And the police got the nerve to say, yeah, give us the phone. Man, never give you guys the phone.
Man, look, police ain't did nothing by now. And how is it that they didn't find the phone? Just make it make sense.
Benjamin Crump is so savvy, he's taking Nolan and taking him to DC for an independent autopsy because he don't even trust the local people to do it. Because he think they're all in cahoots. And I agree, I co-sign that. But the police department that has ignored all the evidence, that have rushed to quickly say, man, there's no signs of foul play here. He died, he drowned. That police department now wants quite possibly the biggest smoking gun in this case? Hell nah. Hell nah.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Send it off to an independent agency. Let them do the investigation. You better not give that police unrestricted access to that phone. That phone comes back with everything wiped out, man. All the evidence gone, man. I'm telling y'all. But Ben Crump has confirmed, they're taking Nolan Wells for an independent autopsy because they don't trust nothing that's going on in that small town. They believe that everybody is in cahoots.
Going to have him flown to a medical examiner in Washington, D.C., where his body will be preserved to do an autopsy to study every aspect of if he had any physical injuries to his body beyond drowning.
Mm-hmm. And where are you in that process now?
The body is going to be flown today. We expect to have the results of that independent autopsy on.
We're going to wait for that autopsy, but if the theory here is
I'm going to wait for the autopsy. The autopsy, not the autopsy.
he got thrown overboard. What would the autopsy show? If he was just a poor swimmer, they threw him overboard, he drowned. What would the autopsy show exactly? But we're gonna wait, man. But this is some bad stuff, man. This is some bad stuff here, bruh.
Well, one thing is for certain, two things for sure. Where smoke is fire. And you got two groups of people that was claiming to be with him, that were with him, and their stories aren't matching. They're not matching, which makes everybody suspects. Alright, this has been Hellkat, back with another episode of My 2 Cents. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, right? It's crazy out here. Y'all be smooth, alright? Love what loves you. Take care of what takes care of you.